Spacebase Startopia is the remake of a game that came out 17 years ago, just simply called Startopia. It is a space station simulator where you get alien visitors, you have them housed temporarily, you feed them slushies and whatever this is, and you keep them alive so that they can spend money or energy in this case on your space station, making you richer and having you go mission to mission doing things. It's fine. It's fine. It doesn't have any glaring faults where you play it for half an hour and you just think, wow, I don't want to play video games ever again. This is the last one. It broke me. It doesn't do that. The thing is, the game doesn't do a lot. That's the problem. It doesn't do a lot. It has the core elements, the bare bones elements that was kind of ripped out of the carcass of Startopia, one of my very favorite games of youthhood. But it didn't do a lot more than just paint it. It's just a new coat of paint on the barest of bones of a previous game that was successful. I'm not sure how much money it made, but it was a good game. It had soul, it had purpose. This game lacks a soul. It is a human, let's call it that. It's a human, but it's an empty human. It's just walking around, soulless. Because it looks fine, right? And I really like the curvature of the space station, where you can actually see that it goes in a circle. Let me take you to the biodeck so you can see what I mean. Look at this. This is pretty cool. I really enjoy this. You can even see that this is all connected. It's not just painted on. This is where you can actually go. And that's neat. The thing is, this biodeck, it's where plants are grown. You gather raw resources from here, and aliens can come here and, you know, if they're from the moon, they can go on the moon surface and think, I'm home. But you don't have to do anything here, really. You just gotta make sure that you place the biomes that they want so that they can get plants that they want. And that's it. You're done. You also gotta make sure that the raw resources are transported down to your cargo hold, which is over here. I've placed it, and that's fine. But you need so many of these fuzzies, these drones, and they move so slowly. This is the speed. This is the speed forever. You can't manage it. Nothing goes faster, nothing goes slower. Everything moves at this speed, which is kind of indicative of how the game also works. Everything moves at this speed, a leisurely pace. Nothing goes faster, nothing goes slower, and nothing really happens in the game. You build the things that they want, and they give you money, and they're happy. That's kind of it. You have a selection of buildings. Most of them are just placed down buildings. Some of them they need to be next to walls that are unoccupied, and then you need to have that sector unlocked further up for the tube lift and the elevators to connect. Makes sense. It doesn't have, it can't be covered on this side. If you place one here, then it can't go on the fun deck, but it can go to the bio deck. That's fine. And the berths where they rest and they eat and they get cleaned or clean themselves is one of the two rooms on the sub deck, like the regular deck, you can actually customize. The thing is, there are only 4 things that go in the berth, and in the medical station, only 3 things. So why not just place down a blueprint that utilizes it nicely? Because there's not a lot of room for customization. This is it. This is all there is. And the most other rooms are just, or buildings, are just buildings. They're not rooms. I really wish that most of these were configurable. Like the recycling station. Why can't I configure how large this is? How effective it is? What it does? Why can't I do that? That would be so much more fun. And it would also help me utilize the space much better, instead of just placing blocks. You can also get attacked by some stuff, by some aliens or pirates, And then you have these guys, the security drones, running around shooting them. You can also build mechs. The problem is, the mechs, they can't walk everywhere. So you gotta make sure that they have room. It stops there. So unless you have just empty areas, empty space that they can walk through, the mechs are useless. Which is not fun. You gotta have empty space to use one of your mechs. They can't walk through where everyone else walks through. You gotta make sure that you utilize nothing. Bad idea. And we've been talking for 5 minutes now, and nothing really has happened. Someone comes in and says that they can clean up, and they will even give us money for it, which is just a minuscule amount of money. And this is what happens: an alien comes in their underwear, and vacuums, and then they leave. The aliens they have no real purpose. You can hire them, tell them to do, just hire them, and then they do their job. You can't tell them where to work. You can't tell them when to work. You can't really do any of that simulation type stuff. You place a building. This is a place where they make they recycle garbage, and then you just this race, this Telgors, they work there. So you hire like 10 Telgors, and then they work there. That's it. Sometimes a voice pops up and says, "Wow, you did your job." And sometimes it says, "Wow, you're an idiot." It's fine. And all the buildings are really bulky. In this sector, which cost, I think, 15,000 energy to unlock, you can build very few buildings. This is the one where the mechs are built. You gotta make sure that you have area, you have space to actually move them. This is the subdeck where they work, usually, most of the aliens, and they sleep and they get healthy. And stuff is stored. This is the industrial area. And then you have the fun deck, where you can build like a space disco, which is empty except for like vermin. A Star Cat Cafe. Very little is done in here, which is just also indicative of what type of game it is. It's empty. I mean, it's fine. Maybe it's more fun in a sandbox environment, but this is mission 6 that I finished today, and you do the same thing every single mission. I think there's 10 missions. I've been playing the game for like 5 hours, and I'm 60% done with it. Unless the 4 last missions go for like 2-3 hours, which I really hope they don't, because you don't have time, you don't have anything to fill that time with, then the game is over in less than 10 hours, and they want you to pay $45 for it. Nothing really matters. You just place down blueprints, or you can also probably, you know, force yourself to do a little more than that, but you don't have to. And it's less efficient, maybe more fun. So maybe it's more fun in a sandbox context. But mission wise, you get a mission where it tells you to do this thing, and then it takes a while for you to get to that thing. And every single mission is the same. You just have a different end goal. But up until that end goal, you do the same thing. You place a space disco, you place some plants if you want to. You place a Star Cat Cafe, a berth, a medical station, and you make sure that your biodeck produces some sort of raw resource. You don't need that. It's fine. You don't have to. Unless the mission tells you to buy and sell goods. Then you need it. Everything else you just need to wait. That's the biggest problem I have with the game. You just wait for things to happen, for your money to slowly funnel in, so you can place a building. And then you wait for your money to slowly funnel in, and then you can place a building. I seem to remember that the original game, there was a world. I felt like a world outside. The traders that came in, they were characters. And the aliens had a soul, had a purpose, had character. They do have a name, but they're more or less nameless, soulless, just husks walking around very slowly. And you feel that when you play the game. If you ignore that and all you focus on is micromanaging.
Your units are currently engaged.
Oh, there's combat? Right, and this is the combat. You just sit and wait. You can tell the mech, but I actually need a mech teleporter, mech elevator, which I don't have. But it doesn't really matter. They die after a while, and that's that. I had to pay 5,000 energy in because they found contraband. Okay, that's it. It just tells you something happened. Sure, it has no purpose. It does nothing to you, and you just go okay, and then you keep going. You cannot fail this game. There is no challenge to it. It would be fine if it went like the Parkosaurus route and made it a cute, fun, sandboxy, casual, relaxing game. But you know, if you relax by just looking at this, like an aquarium, you just wait. Then sure, you know, go for it. I suggest if you are intrigued but you're unsure, wait for a sale. Wait for like 50-60% off or more. The game is fine. I don't regret playing it, but I did get a key for free. Calypso Media, the publisher, gave me the game. Otherwise, I don't think I would have played it. I would have looked at reviews and thought, sad. But the game, we've been talking for 11 minutes. Nothing really happened. We don't need to build anything. We don't need to remove anything. We got attacked, but if you go up there again, yeah, they're still going. But nothing. There's no danger. There's nothing really happening, and it's sad. I wanted to like this game, and I don't really dislike it. It's just that I wanted more. I'm disappointed. That's it. The game is fine. Call it like a 4 or 5 out of 10. It's okay. It's not awful, but it's not good. Spacebase Startopia. I wanted more, but I got this. Sure, fine. If you enjoyed this, you know, let me know. If you have questions, let me know. If you wanna play the game, it's out now. That's it. I'm sad. I wanted more, but we got what we have. Play Parkosaurus if you want a relaxing sim. If you want a more difficult statistics analytics driven game, I don't know, like City Skylines or something like that. Roller Coaster Tycoon. Don't pay full price for this game unless you're really interested in a virtual like terrarium. I'll see you next time.